Hey, how you doing? It's been a while since I made a video. 3 weeks apparently. Wow, there's like so much I want to talk about that I've been learning, practicing, studying. Lots that I want to share in terms of the last 3 weeks. I've been learning a lot. I'm just gonna like say whatever comes out and whatever comes out. That's what it's gonna be. So I kind of wanted to talk about the divine feminine and the divine masculine because I'm learning a lot about that lately, ever since all my experiences with the mushroom people. I've been, I guess, thrown into a learning of knowledge that I think deep down I had it, but it was in a box. So, that being said, I've been practicing taking my divine feminine out of the box. So I know it sounds kind of retarded and ridiculous what I'm going to say, but um, it's been just little things, little baby steps. So a lot of it has been consisting of, wearing dresses every Friday, getting dolled up, even if I'm staying home. My goal would be to be able to put a nice dress on and look like a girl and go outside and not feel bad, and actually own the fact that I am a female and that I dress like a female. Because putting makeup on is okay, but for the most part, I don't really do my hair and I'm always jeans and t shirt kind of person, which is fine. It's totally fine. But I mean, I've been practicing to get in touch with that little divine feminine, inner feminine. So, sorry, it's gonna be a bit shaky. Trying to get comfy. So, basically, now I'm no expert on the subject. I'm still learning and I'm still discovering and I'm still into it. So I by no means do I have any answers for any other person. I'm just sharing my experience, y'all. So, what I've been learning about the divine feminine and divine masculine is, first of all, everyone has it. Men and women both have a divine feminine and a divine masculine principle. And various degrees are balanced or imbalanced of both, I would imagine. Sorry, I'm just having trouble holding this thing. So basically, I've been pretty good with divine masculine because I've mastered that my entire life. I've been, and I'm just gonna give a quick overview. And I know there's a lot more to this, but I'm just gonna like summarize as much as I can the information that I do have. So my own experience, I've been very much surrounded by men. I work with men. I work in an industry that is male dominated. I have 4 boys. I've always hung out with guys. Aside of the fact of why my divine feminine got put in a box and where I became uncomfortable around women, that's not important. We're not going to really dive into that for now. But basically, the masculine is the engineer and the feminine is the architect. So you got one that's here to build stability, grounding, routine, schedules, all that jazz. And then we have the feminine that comes in to play the chaos, the last minute change that shows up. The creativity, the wing it, the instinct, the intuition. So there's a lot of the emotional, how the male is the mental and the female is like the emotional. So what I'm understanding is that I had a very good grasp of the divine masculine, which was good and all, but it was actually hindering me because I was too much. There was no balance. So I would get frazzled with not making deadlines or not sticking to schedules, or if my house wasn't clean enough, or with, anything that has to do with structure, order, progressive steps, anything that is that aspect. Whenever I would go too crazy on that aspect and try to control stuff, so basically, yes, the masculine has a lot of control aspects tied to it. And the female, where I have it, but it was in a box. So where I wasn't using it, and I bet that's why I had so many creative blocks for the most part of my adult life, because I wasn't letting that feminine aspect out of the box. So she just comes in and softens the edges, unpredictability, how to adapt to unpredictability, how to, when something shows up, you just do it. It's very much feeling through life and being very intuitive with life. And you really have to have both, because think about it this way, like I'm a contingency planner. So I could plan all I want. But the thing is in my contingency plans and in my planning, I have to think about the divine feminine in the sense where I have to leave room for unexpected events, for the unpredictable stuff that could show up, to leave like a slot, you know, to keep it flexible, to keep it moving, to keep it expanding, you know. So I'm learning a lot about intuition and feeling right now, and how to use it in balance with my divine masculine, because there was never at any point a time where I was thinking like, oh, okay, you know, I'll just put my masculine in a box and then just do the feminine. No. No. Masculine stays there. I've worked with it. I know how it functions. So basically I'm bringing in the female aspect to come and soften out the edges. It's been a hard practice because I'm not used to it. I'm just not used to it. But it's been a fun ride. And when it comes to guides and teachers and stuff like that, I want to also add that I was advised by my guides when I was doing that therapy not long ago that I was going to follow the guidance of them, of the divine feminine, of the guidance given by those, you know, energies, if you will, if you want to call them that. And to women, actual women. So I was advised to not, it's not mean, it's not judgmental what I'm going to say. It just, when you think of a book and following steps, you're touching the divine masculine once again, you know, and there's a lot of stuff you can tie to masculine and a lot of stuff you can tie to feminine. But they were very adamant about me following actual women in real life, you know, listening to women, getting to know women, trusting women, connecting with women a lot, like actual women, speaking face to face, you know, emotions, sharing, and also the ones that are, you know, in the astral realm or whatever. So I've been really sticking to that, where I'm giving women a chance. I'm giving my own self as a woman a chance. And I keep trying to add balance to my beingness when it comes to feminine, and it's been a hard practice because I've come to notice last night that I'm dealing with a lot of issues of anxiety and depression lately that are coming up and that are resurfacing. And the idea was that there's certain catalysts that maybe not, like I'm stagnating on stuff, which is fine. But I come to the conclusion yesterday, at least somewhat of a conclusion, that I'm really struggling right now with the fear of failure. So I went through the divine feminine, and then I had some anxiety that was tied to abandonment issues, which I did not make a video about, by the way. I might talk about it at the end of this video if I can squeeze it in, but I'm already at 8 minutes. Where was I? So divine feminine. Oh shit, I totally lost my train of thought. I'm trying to find it back. Oh no, where is it? Okay, fear of failure. I got it. So I'm struggling with the fear of failure, and obviously success is very tied to the divine masculine and anything that's hyper structured and stuff like that. So I'm kind of struggling. I'm struggling when it comes to letting myself fail and it being okay that I failed. It's really difficult for me. I'm a bit of a perfectionist, you know, I want things done right and all that. But then again, that touches the divine masculine, you know, which I've already mastered. So also what I'm seeing is that I have a subconscious negative programming, right? Like the thing that plays on loop that you don't notice. It just keeps playing. And that's basically what's like dictating your entire life and the roads you take, the decisions you make, and blah, blah, blah. And what else was I going to say about that? Yeah. So I'm trying to reprogram my brain consciously. I'm not doing any like while I sleep, I listen to stuff and stuff like that. I'm literally just being hyper aware of the fact that, hey, I don't need this in my life, this crappy negative subconscious programming. I know what it is. I know where it roots from. I know where it comes from. And it's okay. It happened. But we really need to fix this, and we need to change this, and we need to reprogram with something new. So I'm trying to reprogram with the new stuff in a very conscious way, and I'm noticing that there's like a tug of war. It's like it's like I'm consciously aware. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to take a day off. It's okay to not be 100%. It's okay, like it's okay. And I know that logically, it is okay. Everything is okay. But that stupid subconscious programming that like, oh, you have to do it right, you have to do it perfect, you have to do this, you have to do that, it just keeps trying to like overlap and like snuff it out. You know, it's like it's fighting to survive. It's like it doesn't want to be replaced. And I've been having a lot of difficulty when it comes to my subconscious programming trying to like take over again, and it's really annoying. It's hard to work with. It's been very challenging. I'm finding it very challenging. So I'm still working with it, and I'm still very aware, lucid, and rational to the fact that I know what's going on, but it's still happening. It's not gonna stop it from happening. It's not gonna. And that's kind of part of the divine feminine also, where you can't control it. You don't have control. You have to like surrender. It is literally like feminine is surrendering. It's surrendering and dancing with that chaos, and knowing that you don't need to know the mechanisms of how you're going to be taken care of and how things work, but you just have to trust that you know that things are okay. And it's very difficult. It's difficult sometimes, you know, to just trust it and to know that, hey, you know, everything is cool, everything is fine, you know. So it's been an interesting journey for the past month, and I had to visit a lot of abandonment issues that I didn't make that video about. I probably won't, but I had to go back to like the first month of birth to go and look at that. And what aspects of my parents was that tied to, and why. And it's not about blaming or judging. Never. It's always about just pinpointing, okay, this is what happened, and it's okay because they were also hurt, and they did the best that they could, and it is what it is, you know. But sometimes it's like, you know, the answers and the mechanisms, you know the things rationally, but you still have to like live them and sit in it and just be in it. And sometimes I kind of don't know how to like deal or process that, because it's like, okay, but like, why am I bothering doing all this work if all the negative aspects are still there? But in theory, negative aspects aren't going anywhere. It's not about eliminating them. It never was about eliminating negativity. Because if you think about it, male is positivity, female is negativity. If you're going to look at the polarities of both of those extremes. And what I found funny is that we all have this weird tendency in this toxic spirituality movement that we're seeing take place, where people are trying to like snuff out the negativity. But it's like we forget and we don't remember that we need this negativity, and it's not going anywhere. Like, it's really hard for me to explain this from where I'm standing in a sense, because I'm not done learning about it. But I'm understanding why at 6th density they recombine, and there's no more importance on whether you took the path of negative experience or the path of positive experience, because at the end they all join back up. And I mean, knowing the self is very tied to this, where knowing yourself, the good, the bad, and the ugly, all the parts of yourself, even the negative ones, and knowing they're not going anywhere, but that you love them anyway, and it's okay. It's okay to have them, you know? So I hope my video wasn't too random, didn't bounce too much off the walls of everything. But I'm finding this an interesting discovery, an interesting practice. I'm in no way finished. No way. And I'm hoping that my next therapy sessions with the divine mushroom people, whenever that happens, because I don't decide that, right? I'm hoping that I can actually dive into depression and anxiety. And I've come to understand that where I thought recently that, oh, I failed, because I'm still depressed, I still have anxiety. You know, I thought that was like a one-shot general deal that once you deal with it, it's fine and it doesn't come back. But that's not what's happening here. So basically, it's like the depression and the anxiety are just literally flags that are pointing to a specific catalyst that you're struggling with. So in life, you'll have multiple catalysts that you'll be dealing with, and sometimes if you don't pay attention to them, you'll get like that trigger that'll chase you, and it'll be like depression and anxiety as a way to get your attention, to pull you back and to go look inwards and go look at this and deal with this. It's catalyst, but it's there for a reason. And where I thought I'd failed, I'd come to realize, I was like, oh, I didn't fail. Those catalysts that I did learn from, because of that anxiety and depression, I dealt with and I processed it, and it's all good. But now I'm having these other catalysts arise that I haven't really been paying attention to, because I've been being a little toxic, and in the sense where it's like, no, I got this. I can do this. Just gotta keep going. No, you can't always do that. Sometimes you have to slow the fuck down. And as a good example that I gave not long ago is, I'm not here to reinvent the wheel, but sometimes you gotta look at that wheel and see if it's has a rusty rim, if there's like nails in it, if it's losing air. And one thing that's very important is you can't fix a tire if it's rolling. You can't do it. It's rolling. One, you're not gonna be able to fix it. So you have to stop the wheel from rolling, and then go put some little paint on, fix the rust on the rim, take the nails out, patch the holes, put some air in there, and then you can go, for a little bit longer with that wheel. So depression and anxiety is basically just stopping the wheel, going to look, using that contraction period to go and assess what needs to be looked at. So I'm really hoping that this made sense to anyone. I know it's scattered, but fuck, that's just the way it happens. So in my book, at least it makes more sense and it's properly written down. So whatever my videos serve, I still have a bunch of books that I'm writing. So thanks for listening to me, and have an amazing day, everybody.